Hello YouTubers and welcome to the first episode of Season 8. Welcome back! So I had a bunch of ideas of how to start off the season, some really fancy shots, some different rowing videos, but I felt like, especially after this first workout of the season and basically in the middle of this workout, I thought it's much better to show you guys the whole process rather than missing out the hard bits and only showing you guys the good bits. So keeping it real with the Yamsquad, this is the first workout I've done this season, and honestly it felt terrible. And so I've had about a few weeks off, not completely off of training. I've been erging, done some runs, done some cycling, but nothing consistent and just on and off, just doing what I felt like doing on that day. And I hoped that my fitness would hold a little bit better. But unfortunately, 30 minutes, rate 20 today, 1 pip higher than rate 20 and 8 or 9 splits slower than my PB. So mentally for me, seeing these numbers throughout this workout it's a double-edged sword. On one edge, you're way off of your PB, what are you even doing? But on the other side, it's almost exciting because I know where I can go, I know where I have been, and I know I can get further. So it's just a case of putting in the hard work, putting in the consistency to get back to where I have been, and Season 8 is going to be all about that. Putting in the hard work, whether it's on the erg, whether it's on the water, whether it's different types of training, wherever it may be, but also, fingers crossed Yamsquad, that Season 8 is about pushing further than I have ever gone before. But how am I going to do that? Well, this is step 1, new season, means trying different things, seeing how different things work, employing new strategies, especially from last year, where I did a lot of learning in the Euro trip journey. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about, recommend going back, where I took the Yambulance, I took Yam, who's just disappeared, for some snacks, and the Lamborghini name yet to be determined, rest in peace, around Europe to train and learn from some of the best in the rowing world. But today, we've finished off the second big workout of the season, and a little bit different to the previous one that you just saw. So a big step forward from 47.5 to 44.9, but as you can see as well, the strategy was a lot different. The last 30-minute rate 20 was a benchmark to see where I am at the start or pre the start of this season. This is the start of the new strategy, the new pathway we're trying to take. And one of the things I've realized over the past year of learning is that you got to spend time in the pain cave. And yes, I did spend a lot of time in the pain cave over the last year, but when I have performed my best, when I feel my strongest and my best, I've spent a lot more time in the pain cave than last year or even previous years. When I PB'd on the rowing machine in the kitchen, doing a 5:49 for my 2,000 meter row, spent a long time in the pain cave on the rowing machine. But this season doesn't necessarily mean I'm only going to be spending time on the rowing machine in the pain cave. I'm going to be spending time in different modalities in the pain cave, because remember, rowing is a rowing sport, and if I can spend a lot of time in the pain cave on the water, then that's really going to help me come race time. So that's a little bit on the physiology side, but there's obviously different parts to going fast on the water. How am I going to do that? And we'll be getting on the water in this vessel here. So for those of you that don't know, the Lamborghini name yet to be determined, the boat I've been rowing in over the past couple of seasons has been written off, RIP, by a hailstorm in the Euro trip last season. But Hudson have been awesome. Let me borrow this boat right here until a surprise coming very soon. But this boat itself is a Hudson 142 plus SP. The Lamborghini name yet to be determined was a 142 plus USP, so a little bit stiffer, but the Lamborghini name yet to be determined lives on. We've got its rigger here on this boat here, and the foot plate and shoes from the Lamborghini name yet to be determined in this shell here. Let me know in the comments below what this vessel should be called. Maybe I should call it this vessel, we will find out. But getting on the water for this lovely day and during the season, how am I going to get faster on the water? Well, we're going to try harder. But I can already hear you ask, Cameron, try harder. You already talked about getting in the pain cave more, getting used to being in the pain cave. Isn't that the same thing as trying harder? Well, yes, but actually, no. What I mean by trying harder is trying harder on the water. Because remember, rowing is a rowing sport and you can go as fast as you like off of the water. You can do as much training as you like off the water. But if you can't go fast on the water, then you're not going to go fast on the water. So what I will be doing in my so-called trying harder on the water is, previously I've been shying away from using what I have to my advantage. So I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'9", I have long levers, and to really take advantage of the long levers you have to row long. And previously, in previous seasons, I've rowed that little bit shorter because it's that little bit more comfortable. And so by trying harder, not necessarily effort-wise, but more putting myself outside of my comfort zone to row that bit longer. And initially, yes, it might feel harder, but in the long run, at least the theory is, it should be more efficient, it should get me a better boat speed, and therefore go faster on the water. So hopefully that makes sense. We will be tending towards the longer strokes, or at least that's the hope going through the season. So changing the way I row just slightly in order to go faster, combined with getting in the pain cave, both on and off the water, getting used to being there. And speaking of pain cave, it's time to go back there and do another workout on the rowing machine. Oh yeah. And that is the last half hour finished for this episode. I will be taking the Yamsquad along with me on my 30-minute progression journey as we progress through the season, because this workout will be a staple in the workout plan throughout the season. It's a really easy way to judge how the fitness is progressing, and it's always been one of my weaknesses, so it's always good to work on your weaknesses. This one itself, 0.8 slower than last week, but that's okay. Doesn't mean I'm not getting fitter. I actually started 0.7 faster than last week, and the whole point of these workouts is, like I mentioned previously, is to get myself into the pain cave and see how long I can hold myself there. So the idea is, if I back off to the split that is more realistic to start with, I should be able to hold that a bit easier, and then when it gets hard, I'm much more used to being in the pain cave and can handle the pressure that is experienced in the pain cave. So hopefully this episode was a little bit different. I really enjoyed kind of making this video for the start of season 8 through the last few weeks. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you have any suggestions on how I could improve the videos, I would really appreciate that. But as always, if you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe so that you are notified for when the next episode comes out, and you can follow me on the journey throughout the season. Got some interesting plans going ahead. Hopefully I will be able to share them with you soon, and I will see you in the next episode very soon. Oh yeah.